Postmaster General, shortly after you took the office, I reached out to schedule an introductory call with no agenda, in particular just to share my experiences as a career postal employee to kind of welcome you to the seat. But my request was turned down. I was told you needed your time to get acquainted with the agency and that you did not have time to have that meeting. But I've seen since you've been in office, the time to get antiquated to make these really, really impactful decisions on delivery and processing of the mail, you were comfortable with doing so. I want to ask you, Mr. DeJoy, are you familiar with Chapter 1 of 39 U.S. States Code?
No, I'm not.
Okay. The United States, the code reads, the United States Postal Service shall be operated as a basic and fundamental service provided by the people, to the people by the government of the United States, authorized by the Constitution, created by act of Congress, and supported by the people. Mr. DeJoy, did you take an oath of office when you became the Postmaster General?
I did, ma'am.
I remember when I took my oath of office, when I was sworn in to be an employee of the Postal Service. And to just tell you my journey, because I'm sure you're familiar with some of the names. I started as a distribution clerk working Tour 1. Then I moved to being a letter carrier, then to being a acting supervisor, then a supervisor of delivery and collection. I served in HR, I served in safety and health, I served as an EO investigator. I had the entire state of Michigan in a district role of the women's program and for career counseling and development. And I ended my career after several task forces that I were put on to monitor and to track the mail before we made decisions like taking out equipment, density counts. As a supervisor of delivery, I know what it took to remove a post office box. It's called a collection box. It's not a blue box, it's a collection box. So I wanted to talk to you about, have you ever served as a letter carrier?
First off, ma'am, I'd like to congratulate you on your career path. And no, I have never served as a letter carrier.
So I did serve. So the Postal Service is introducing a new initiative called Expedited to Street Afternoon Sortation, and it reduces the morning office time to allow carriers to leave for the street earlier, and then upon returning from the streets, the carriers are then to sort any undelivered mail for the next day. Are you aware what that initiative that you have rolled out, the impact it has on delivery, carrying?
The intent, that was a program that was on the shelf. The intent of that program is to adjust for, there's been a significant decline in mail, as you know, and to adjusted. That was worked out with union leadership to run a pilot. The pilot, I stopped the pilot when I stopped everything else. So the intent of it is to get the carriers out earlier so they can come back earlier. And that's basically in the day.
Well, Mr. DeJoy, I really stress that you do some deliberate work. Excuse me. Do some deliberate work to understand the impact that it has, because if a carrier does not come back, because this is the challenge that we have all the time. A carrier, if he has only one piece of advertisement, must stop at every home. So regardless of the volume, if you're making the same amount of stops, you're not going to shorten the time. And so when you do that, the carrier's going to be out basically the same amount of time. And so when they come back, you're delaying the mail. I have complaints in my office from people getting delivery 1 day a week now, sir. That is not according to your oath. That is not according to what the Chapter 1 of 39 says your role is. I want to, in my short period of time, Madam Chair, I was interrupted, I would just like to end this with, some of my colleagues have said this is a theater, why are you here? Well, you're here because the citizens of the United States rely on the Postal Service to deliver. Our seniors, our veterans. One thing is clear, you have been a major supporter of the president, it's documented. I don't resent you for that, you have that right. But when you are getting messages daily in tweets that the Postal Service says we don't make a deal, they don't get the money. The money means that you won't have universal mail-in. I want you to know that you have an oath of office.
Okay, the gentlewoman's time
And I
has expired.
expect for you and the American
Thank
people
you.
expect for you to uphold it. Thank you, Madam
Thank you.
Chair.
And ma'am, I will live up to that oath. And if I can expand on your question with regard to the expedited process, that would not result in 1 day a week mail across in any area. We do have some employee availability issues in some of the hot spots across the nation where we have, as you would know, we could have 700 routes and only 500 carriers, and it's forcing.
For crying out loud, why would you implement that
I
then at
didn't
this
implement
time?
anything to affect that. I did not implement anything to affect that. That would not, the
But you're
expedite.
adding fuel to the fire, and that's the point.
I'm trying to, I'm committed to 6-day delivery. I am committed to growing the Postal Service. I have ideas for new business opportunities for the Postal Service, and I'm trying to, in the code, it also says we must be self-sustaining, and we're not, and that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you, though, and congrats again.